Hold on, I'm fixing to test everything, make sure everything's good.
There he is. Jeffrey
Everything.
Maximus.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep, everything's good.
Get your hairs cut there, buddy?
No. Actually, yeah. But I'm putting the hat on because I ain't had a chance to get some sun on it, so my head was white. I'm like, oh my God. Because I ain't got no hair hardly. I mean, it's... yeah, which is the way I love it. That's my favorite style of haircuts, is having no hair at all, especially in the summertime.
For sure.
Man, it felt good. I finally got that today, and I'm like, God, this feels so good.
Mine's pretty
It's
low.
actually feeling weird. Yeah. It's been feeling kind of weird all day because it's been cool on my head, like a cool sensation all day, and I haven't had that in months.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and start sharing.
I really got to get my...
Still got a little time left.
I got to get my business together here. My shit together. My desk is a wreck.
Hi, here I am.
Oh, look at who decided to show up.
Guess where I was?
Where's that?
In bed.
Boy. It's gonna be one of those.
Oh,
I'm
just
always
going to do a
in
live
bed.
session from bed one night.
Fucking.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, we need you for like an hour and a half there, Grandma. So.
Well, bingo's not over yet, so we're alright.
Oh, crack a Red Bull if you have to.
I have some.
Okay. All right. It's not a Red Bull, but whatever. Same idea. All right. Oh, look at that. Jeffrey is going to town, sending them out.
Yeah, I'm trying. And sad thing is, most aren't on just yet, but some will probably get back on, because some of them I've noticed they get on around 8-ish, close to 8. But, you know, which when I'm doing my live, I don't mind. I'll stay on a little extra longer. I don't mind it on certain days. I just don't want to keep other people on too long. So that's why usually when I do other interviews, I try to keep it within an hour. Unless it's like we're just kind of shooting around or something, then it don't matter. And I've talked to Shay. She's on standby in case you can't do tomorrow, Clarence. So just let me know.
I should be able to.
Okay. I just wanted to have somebody with me on it. I didn't know if anybody else would do it. And I know she's got some good familiarity on interviewing people. So sometimes I need to start writing down the questions. I'm usually good about remembering everything, but here lately, I think it's between writing and reading and talking to everybody, promoting. My brain is gone. That's a lot to remember.
All right. Let's get this show on the road, huh? Hello, and welcome back to whatever we're calling this. It'll be on Redacted Tales in the next couple days or so. Everybody, this is Jeff Harris. You already know him. He's been on a bunch of times. And this is Kristen Moran. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
You go ahead first, Jeff.
Go ahead, Chris. Oh, okay. Never mind. All right, everybody. I'm indie author Jeffrey Harris, multi-genre, the big mouth of everybody, the one that talks and don't shut up. Right now, I'm in the middle of getting a book done with Stephanie James Publishing. It is nearly complete. I'm actually doing some editing processes, proofreading, and I'm going to make some minor little changes that I kind of have an idea of doing towards the middle part of the book. But other than that, it's coming along great, and I'm excited.
Okay. I'm Kristen and Moran. I have a couple books out. I'm currently writing a few more. They're all in the Zon on KU. It's a mixture of dark romance, tragic romance, I guess, and horror.
Awesome. So I don't like the standard, formulated interview. This is more of like a loose conversation. I'm not going to ask you too many pointed questions, but what we will get into, and feel free to cut in whenever. Jeff has already read your book. Wrong Move, and I'm about halfway through it. And our dear friend Shay always says that I'm an emotional writer, but I gotta tell you, I think you hold the cap on this. I think you're a far more emotional writer than I am.
Everything I write I put every bit of emotion into it.
Mm-hmm.
Every bit of trauma I experienced, I try to.
Uh-oh. She got booted
I
already.
fixed it. No, it's a new phone, so I don't know what's wrong with it.
Uh-huh. Blame the phone.
Listen, us
I,
old people don't understand technology.
Yeah.
I love the psychological thrillers and the emotional aspects of writing and reading. And I got to say, I just read one book from you, Wrong Move, but I've also read some lines from this newest book you're currently working on because you sent it through a text message, what was like a week or so ago. And I was just blown away. And this was just a small text of what you're writing. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. As a matter of fact, I've actually picked up a little bit of a habit of my writing now because of you. So I picked up a little bit from reading others. From you two, I've got this new habit of changing a formula of my writing. I'm actually able to find more expressiveness in my words because of authors like you two and Clint and Shay. And it's like, it's really picking me up. And the emotional aspects that you've brought in with Wrong Move with Mark, the character Mark, actually helped with my book, Crossroads. I'm actually able to go into a different direction because of Wrong Move. It's just beyond, it's awesome.
Sure. You got a question? Go ahead. Fire off. We'll try to answer it. As you're typing, I'll jump in again. I always wanted to ask you how you got involved with Stephanie James. Like, I've heard Jeff's backstory, and everybody knows I was recruited. I was in pretty high demand, I guess. She came after me for months.
Mike Minicky kind of said to me about, hey, I think you really should get a hold of her.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did, she pretty much just like grabbed my hand and threw me into the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And she sent me all the stuff that I needed to know and kind of put me in a direction. And I read Mike's, and I felt like his needed more depth.
Hmm.
When I looked at Mark, I realized that he could be a major part of the story, and that's what I did.
So Bree wants to know what made you start writing. Well, I think she was referring to me, but we're all going to answer the question anyway. Kristen, you go ahead first.
I'm gonna say last year, maybe 2 years ago, my grandfather was diagnosed with cancer, and he kind of pulled me to the side before he passed away and told me that he really thinks I should start doing the things that I love. And he knew I liked books and he knew I liked writing. So in my own way, I wanted to write a book before he passed away. It didn't happen. I didn't finish it before he passed away, but it still pushed me to finish it. And I'm glad I did, because I do enjoy it.
Which one was the first one?
In her head.
In her head. That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. Jeffrey, what made you get into it?
Well, before I get started, I just want to say something real quick to you, Kristen, about Mark, the character Mark. It's funny how you actually wrote about him because when I was reading Mike's book, Your Move, I had a little bit of things wondering about Mark because, first of all, and then I started kind of pushing it away, thinking, okay, he's just being that type of teenager where he wants to, you know how some teenage boys can be. Even some girls could be that way. So I was kind of wondering that, but there was some open gaps, and I was wondering. I never asked Mike about it or anything. I wanted to, but I was like, no, I'm just going to continue reading the books. And before you know, I hit your book right after his, or no, it was after last move with Shay. And yours really kind of hit off where I was thinking, because I'm like, there's got to be more to this character, Mark. I'm wondering if there's something he knows, because he moved about that house like he's been there before. I was wondering. And I was wondering if Mike did this intentionally or he opened a door for someone else to come in and take it. Because I was near thinking about it, but I still hadn't had my mind made up until I got to Shay and Uncle Fred, and that's when, yeah, that's all she wrote for me. But as far as writing goes, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I had an imagination for writing when I could remember crawling. Like every time I looked at things and I came up with things, looking at items, I just wanted to do something off of that item. I always, even to this day, I mean, I can look at this cup right here and I got an idea for a book. And it don't really have to necessarily have anything to do with the item. Just the item alone just suddenly breathes something into me. But I always wanted to do movies and write, whether it be screenplays, novels. But I was really pushed because of my mom. She was a big Stephen King fanatic. And I read a little bit of his books when I was real little, but seeing his books brought to life in the movies, it hit something in me. I was like, I want to do that. I want to write and have it brought to life into a film. That's what motivated me hard.
So I'll answer. Okay. When I was in, I don't remember, middle school, we'll say, I was a horrible student all the way through, believe it or not. I had a hard time paying attention. My mind would wander. And I had this teacher named Mrs. Ellis. Mrs. Ellis knew that I struggled. One day she says, "Hey, I want you to read this book." And I was like, rolling my eyes. I was like, oh God, no, please no. She's like, "I want you to really try. I want you to really commit yourself, because I know you haven't read the last, 2 that I assigned you, but I really want you to." And I was like, is there a movie for this thing? Is there, how do I was trying to think of ways to, cheat the system. And she's like, dragging me, begging and screaming, dragging me. And she says, "I want you to read this book, Homecoming by Cynthia Voigt." I was like, all right, okay, fine. So every day I would really try. Even though I had a short attention span, I would really push myself to read this one book. And I was about maybe halfway through this book when I looked at Mrs. Ellis in class one day and I was like, I think I can do this. And she pulls me in real close and she's like, I know. And then it was just from there on, And originally I wasn't a horror or a young adult writer. I had actually started out writing fantasy, very Game of Thrones-esque fantasy, whatever they call that, high fantasy. So that's pretty much how I got my start. And either that year or the next year, I got my very first publication, and she helped me do that. So there was a calling for flash fiction in the local newspaper, and she really pushed me to write a story, and I still have them somewhere. Anyway, there were actually 2 of them, but that's my story. And all these years later, I'm still at it, I guess.
I got that problem too about the concentration, the focus. I used to write when I was in school. I actually wrote a book when I was a kid, and I would write on it all the time, and I wasn't even paying attention to the stuff that we were supposed to be learning unless it was an interesting topic. But I was a writer. I still have troubles trying to read certain things, and I don't have troubles reading a novel unless it's like English classes, for example. When it came to English classes, you always had the topics you had to read and then write about it or answer it. I struggled with it, and I think it's because you were supposed to read it and then you got to describe it. And I don't know. For some reason, for me, the questions never went with what I read, and I'd read it carefully. I even sometimes read it 3 times. I'm like, these questions don't go with, I don't follow, and I have always had that trouble. But yet, you can take a novel, an 800, 300, 400, 900 page book. I could read it, and you could sit down, and I could tell you things like crazy about it. But yet, when it came to something like that, I don't know if it was just because it was school-related, my mind just wasn't there, because I can read anything, whether it be fantasy, action, romance, drama, horror, you name it. I love that stuff. But for some reason, when it came to tests and stuff, I can't read. Just like I can get letters in the mail. you're trying to explain something, like certain bills or something. I'm sitting there and I can't focus. I can't read it. I don't know. I don't know if it's the old saying goes where they how's it go? The thing where you hear what you want to hear. I forget. Selective hearing. I think I have selective reading.
Yeah.
And I think I have selective reading. It's got to be, because how is it I can read an 800-page book without a problem for the most part, but you give me a paragraph of something and all of a sudden I can't focus. I can't, or like you give me a thing that's got, what do you call it? Options, or not options, but
Multiple
dang it, my
choice.
mind's going blank.
Multiple
Yeah,
choices.
something like that. Yeah, something like that. And I can't follow it, but yet you can throw a book in front of me, and I can read it and be fine. Even when I was a kid, I could read these big adult books and had no problems. I might not have known some of the words, but I'd take the dictionary and, of course, this is before internet, and I'd look up the dictionary. Okay, and but most of the times I understood the word, even if I didn't know what it meant. I kind of had a grasp of what it was getting at just by reading the paragraph. But yet, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know. A lot of people tell me I might be dyslexia. I might have dyslexia. I don't know.
Back when you were a kid, they had dictionaries? Are you sure everything wasn't just on a stone tablet?
That's what the dictionary
Well, that
was
was-
back then. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Just checking.
That was then. I got
That
to
cave
careful with
painting.
some of that stuff. I'm actually in trouble for mentioning that far away past. They're catching up to me. I got like, oh crap! So I got to go back into hiding.
Reading off of hieroglyphs and whatnot. What was your early reading years like? Like what did you guys read when you were younger?
I read anything.
Hey, Chris.
Anything and everything?
Yeah, I wasn't picky. I was really good in school, so whatever they gave me, I did.
Well,
One of us has to be smart.
yeah, I guess so.
Right. You need one at least. Well, y'all were very smarter than me. I was always good with history. I was always good with things that don't add up. Like for me, I don't have the answers to give people, but I come up with these crazy theories, and years later I'll find out I was right. And I think I got it from my grandpa, because my grandpa used to sit in his chair and always told me what's going to happen. These things are going to. I always thought my grandpa was just paranoid. I was like, Grandpa, you came from a different generation. I can understand things he said 20, 30 years ago is happening. I'm like, wow. And now I think I have that where I know these things and I try to tell people, nobody wants to listen to. You're paranoid. And but as far as books go, that when I was younger, I liked horror a lot growing up when I was a kid. And I enjoy watching horror movies as a little boy where other kids were scared to death of this stuff. And I'm over to like, I loved it. I got a thrill off of it.
She's a girl, Brie.
Her
name
cat
is-
again. She said, show the cat again.
Her name is Luna.
And she's a handful.
She's more than a handful. She's biting me right now.
I remember it must have been impromptu. You were doing impromptu and she was jumping all over the table and causing chaos.
She always does. She likes the camera.
She was doing that with a live with me and Kristen one night. Me and Kristen, I was asking her questions, doing a live interview with her, and Luna kept jumping up there.
Yeah.
It's like, just let her stay up there on the live. She wants to be on camera. Let her have
If I
it.
If I didn't close the door to my office, my dog would be on the floor underneath my feet or right beside me because she is attached at the hip all the time.
Yeah, the dog's right behind me on the couch, so.
No.
Hey, Sherry.
All right, I did want to ask about. I did want to ask about the inspiration behind In Her Head and Vampire Princess. I kind of get where Wrong Move came from, so I don't think we really need to cover that one, but
I was only going to cover a couple of things on Wrong Move because it was the first book that I actually read by her, and I'm also
Same.
working on a sequence that takes place on some of her events. Like some of her events happens in the beginning in my epilogue, and it's going to happen in the final. Not the prologue, a prologue, and it's going to happen in the epilogue. So basically, her book goes. It warps around mine in a beginning and an ending font. It's really neat, and I love it.
So, In Her Head is about a girl who has mental, I'm going to say mental issues. She deals a lot with bad thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Right in the beginning, she tries to attempt, and that I wrote more because I had a lot of depression inside of me, and with everything going on with my grandfather and other things, and I needed a form to get it out. And so that holds the depression as I see it. I seen it as like a way I couldn't see like the finer detail in things. I couldn't see colors, the bright colors and stuff. And that's how I wrote it, without much description, without the finer details. I just wrote it as like a raw emotional book.
I almost just fell backwards. That is a fantastic way to write, by the way. Some people, if they don't understand the context or have never been through such a thing, they wouldn't really understand that. But for the people who have lived through it, they get it. They know what that feeling is like, where the color has bled out of your life and things have gotten really difficult, and even just getting out of bed in the morning is terrible. Yeah. So I think it's an interesting choice, and probably a really brilliant choice to write it that way. I have not read it yet. My introduction to your work was Wrong Move. I made a lot of jokes with Jeff in the past, where I was like, "Oh yeah, I read Mike's, I read Shay's, and then I did the right thing and I threw Kristen's right in the trash."
I'll only let you get away with that because you're royalty.
Ah, thank you. I started it 3 days ago. I actually DNF'd a book to start yours. Well, partially to start yours. In truth, I was really struggling with that one. And by the way, it'll make you feel great that it was traditionally published by a pretty well-known author, too. But it was just super repetitive. It was very long. And although there was, like, a lot of action, it was a lot of the same action. Mm-hmm. I was like, how many times can your main character get pinned down by another army and get shot at and survive until at a certain point you're like, I don't care anymore. Live, die, who cares? So I got like maybe a third of the way through that book and I was like, shuck it. And I was like, all right, Kristen's. And I wanted to prepare for this interview. If I had more downtime, I probably would have finished it in time, but I've been pretty busy. But I'm liking what I'm reading so far.
Hold on.
With our secret project.
Oh, buddy. We are having way too much fun torturing certain people about the super secret project. And I keep getting asked, when are we going to reveal it? The truth is, I don't know. We don't know.
I don't know either, yeah.
Maybe we started talking about it too early because we're not prepared yet.
We're not ready yet, yes.
But I did admit to Marianne that it is not film related because that has come up. And honest to God, yes, I am working on a film, but it is not related to the super secret project. I would love to do that. I would love to take every one of you authors that I know and turn your work into a film. The problem is, who's going to pay for it? It certainly isn't going to be me.
I wouldn't expect nobody to do that unless I'm paying them. If I had the money and such and I can ship it to you and all that, oh yeah, definitely. I would do that. And honestly, years ago, I could have done something like this and would have paid for a couple of other authors. Hey, here, I'm going to send you this through Venmo or whatever you want to call that thing or whatever else you got, to send it to you and like, let's surprise this person, do a video for them, do a little documentary. I'd get their permission, but surprise them. They won't know when it comes out and then just throw it on their feet about, So yeah, I would do that. I'm that kind of guy. I'm what most people would call a schmuck. You were spending your money, your hard-earned money on something like that. You think they'd do it for you? It don't matter whether they would do it for me. If I feel it's good and I feel they're a good person and I feel they're worth it, then yeah, I'm gonna do it, and I don't want nothing in return. I've been known to do a few things and sneak around so no one knows that I was the one that paid for it. I've paid for a few things before in the past, and nobody knows I did it, and I wouldn't want to tell nobody. I don't want the credit for it. It's because I wanted to do it. I don't mind.
Well, it's better than losing all your money at bingo, like some people.
I have $10.
Oh yeah. Before we stray too far from the movie stuff, I did want to say, just for context, making a film is really expensive. Okay, Cathedral was about 22 minutes long, and it cost about $3,000 to make. So if that gives you any idea as to why our production company isn't moving faster or making more or longer movies, that's why. It's because it's ridiculous to make. But enough about that. Well, I don't want to talk about me and my bullcrap all day. Bree wants to know how we deal with reading slumps. That is a great question. My TBR is drastically too long to ever be in a reading slump for long. And for the longest time, I was doing like beta reads and arc reads and just critiques and stuff for other authors. So I'm honestly too busy for reading slumps. And now that I have Redacted Tales open to submissions, I really have a lot of reading to do. What about you guys?
My TBR is humongous as well. So it's not like I ever hit a reading slump because I just kind of pick what I want to read that day. The only arcs and beta reads I do are for friends anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been in a reading slump. I'm trying to think. I guess I had one on I would say I did go several years where I just stopped reading. I didn't even write, no nothing. So I guess you can say I kind of, I don't know, changed. I just went in a different approach with my life, and I shut down my imaginations and all that stuff, which it took a lot out of me. But it's because I had so much other things going that kept me occupied. And I had people in my life at that time. And then as you start losing different people and things are starting to take a different turn, the imaginations and all that fairy tale stuff or otherworldly stuff comes back into your head and devours everything about you. So the writing came back, the reading came back. I doubt I would fall into a reading slump. I mean, I may not read them much. I mean, I did knock down some Kindles last weekend. I was knocking stories out left and right, but I mean, I wasn't rushing either. That's the thing. I can read pretty quick, and I can tell you all about the books. Like right now, the ones that I read, you can ask me a question. I can nail it just like that. I'm actually reading Your Move now, or not right now, but I was reading Your Move. But yeah, I think the only way I could fall into a slump is if I've got some negative things going on, where I'm pinned against, things aren't looking good, this isn't going well, this is happening, then yeah, I can fall into a slump. But it won't be because of the reading. It's just because my life is slumped. And I've been known to do that. I've even been able to not want to write and not get up in the mornings because things are going on in my life that's got me in a slump. So, yeah.
That's one of the things that I really appreciate about the SJ books is that they're all pretty small. They're all bite-sized. I'm kind of admittedly a slow reader, honestly. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I love that you can turn those out so quickly. Like, I don't remember how quickly I read Mike's, maybe 2 or 3 days, and I read Shay's pretty quickly too, less than a week probably. And I can't imagine I'll be on yours for very long either. I'm already like halfway through, and I just picked it up like 2 days ago.
My thing is, you pick up a book and you don't feel like it's you. Don't force yourself to read it.
Yeah.
Because that's what takes the passion away.
Yeah. I get on readers all the time. If you're going to buy a book from me, I try to, it may not be the best sales gimmick of, it can hurt yourself, but I don't care about that. I want the person to not like the book just because it was good, just wasn't one of mine. Okay. I don't want them to not like the book because I pushed them into reading when they didn't want to read it in the first place. I don't want that. Just because, just so I can get a book sale or get a review. I don't want to do that. So in a reader or in a seller's point of view, it's not the smartest, but for me, it's not because I'm not in that for that reason. I'm in it to want you to buy it for the right reason. I tell every reader, get it when you can. I don't just go, you got to get it. You got to, no. Even as excited as I get, now I can't wait for them to read it so I can talk to them about it, but I won't rush them. I always tell them, get it when you can. And I've had some that it took a couple months, they finally got it and they loved it. And I told them, hey, get it when you can. I will never rush you. I will never push it on you.
Yeah. I also feel the same way. If you don't like what I have to write, which I kind of write broadly. I don't just write horror. I get kind of pinned as a horror writer, but if you look back, I've actually written like a bunch of young adult stuff. As I said earlier, I did write fantasy when I was younger, but I haven't published anything like that in a long, actually probably ever. I don't know. But it's not all horror all the time. But if you don't like what I have to say, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to. You can go through my stuff. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Thanks for checking it out anyway. Yeah.
I have a hard time even marketing my stuff. So
I could see why. I understand that.
Yeah. That's the beauty about being a multi-genre writer too, though. So, I got other books you could fall back on. So, like, if I contact someone says, I just like fantasy and adventure. Okay, I got you that. I got Demonic Crusades, give me time. If you don't like that kind of stuff, give me time. I'll be writing something of fantasy adventure another time, or if you're into horror, I got you covered in that. I got, I haven't got no basic romance out yet. I probably will in the future, but I do have a dark thriller psychological romance, and I'm working on another one after I get done with Crossroads. I'm going to go back and finish on my recent project, and I'll probably have it done about a month or two, maybe. It varies.
I want the most lustful, passionate, beautiful romance story out of you that you can muster up. Some Lips of Merlot, something.
show us how the cavemen did it.
Yeah.
I was kicked out of 3 different neighborhoods back in them time periods, though, because of my writing style. They didn't like that. That's why I don't do romance no more, because I went too rough with it, and they were just like, and they didn't like it.
Used the chisel too hard, broke the stone.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of comments about book 2, Kristen. What do you got to say about book 2?
Yeah, I was just
Book
fixing to
2
say
is-
something about that.
It is coming. I only have a couple more chapters to write. Then I'm gonna go over it, make a final edits. The cover is ready. The blurb is ready. The dedication and all that other stuff is done.
Mhm.
I just have a few more things to write, and then that is ready. Marianne is going to be the first person to read it. I am sending it to her first.
Sure.
It's going to be as emotional as the first one, and it's going to be the end of Kayla's story.
Sherry
That
just
was-
asked book 2 to which book?
In her head. I'm going to finish it.
I'm getting hassled about the sequel to Mishka. You guys have to keep in mind, it took me like 7 years to write the first one, so good luck. I'll get to it when I get to it. The super secret project is kind of taking precedent right now.
I write really slow.
I just keep getting stuck. Like, the first book was the same thing. It's not that I write all that slow, it's just that the first book, I was so picky about how I wrote it, and when you guys get around to it, you'll understand why. It came out a very specific way, and it took a long time for me to get it the way that I wanted to. And unfortunately, it even involved cutting out one of my favorite characters. Like, I cut him out entirely. Uncle when I finish. Yeah,
You'll
probably.
be an uncle when you finish.
Yeah, right now I'm just a nephew, but maybe someday.
I think I only write slow because I mean I am picky, but I need it to be in the right order with the way the emotions run.
Mm-hmm. I write where the passion is, so whatever, and by priority as well. So whatever takes precedent at the moment, I will go first. And like I said, I got stuck a bunch of times on the sequel to Mishka, so I'm only like 20,000 words into it, and I keep getting stuck. I wrote like 2 or 3 more chapters and got stuck again. And I know where I want it to go, but I just don't know how to get it there. So right now I'm working on the super secret project, and I wish more people could know about it. I wish we could talk about it, but I can't.
I'll get there to it, Bree. Don't worry. Sorry, y'all. Hey, Kristen, when you wrote Wrong Move, how long did it take? How many of the other books did you read before you, you just read just Mike's, or did you read Shay's as well before you started?
I read Your Move and Next Move. So the first one and the second one.
Okay.
Shay was writing hers at the same time I was writing mine. So I read the first chapter, hers, and then that was all I read from it before mine was released.
And I may have asked you this, but this is good to repeat because I don't mind. This gives other people a chance to hear it as well. When you came up with the theory, with your suggestion of wanting to do Mark, how long did it take you before you decided that was your character? This was the story you wanted to go with? I'm just, how deep into Mike's book, or did you finish it and go, that's mine, I'm going to do this?
I finished it and I said to myself, he is a fantastic character to do the depth with. I said, you could really make such a world out of Mike's book with this one character, because he left them with such a mystery to him, and I needed to solve that mystery.
You also had kind of a clean slate too.
Yeah. I find it so odd that she was kind of on the, well, she went with a different approach than what I would have done. I wouldn't have went as depth, but it would have been close. Put it that way. She would have went this. She's here with it. Mine would have been about right up in here with the depth. I would have been more. My depth more or less goes into the explanation or depth of the story more than the character. I mean, you get the character depth, but you get it into the story, if that makes sense. Which now I'm starting to do it because when I read Wrong Move, she kind of gave me that feel again of what I've lost on the depth of a character instead of the story. Now I can do it with the characters. But with me, when I was reading Shay's, because I was thinking about that Mark character too, because I swear to you, I'm not kidding. When I was reading Mike's book, there's just something about his character that spoke to me in a way as well. And I said, But I didn't make up my mind on anything. I read Shay's, then I got the Wrong Move, and I realized she had Mark. So I'm like, oh, I'm glad she did this, because she did it better than what I would have done. But when I was reading Shay's, it's when I got to that one chapter where it had Uncle Fred, and when he passed the board down to Jack when he was 11, I prayed and hoped, please, Shay, leave that character open. I want him, because I can use this for the crossroads. And I hadn't even had a crossroad theory yet or no nothing. I didn't even have an idea yet. I was blooming a few ideas, but when I saw that, it just, the gears hit. I mean, someone literally snatched it in gear for me. That's all she wrote.
Yes, Rain. The doll's name is Nora, and she is a character in a story that I wrote called, the story was called Nora, but it's in my collection, Redacted Tales, and she's going to be the main character of my next short film with the same name. We actually did a trailer piece on Facebook. We released it today.
Yeah, it was really good. I like that. I'm really impressed with his video. I don't know if anybody else has saw it. You got to go to the Redacted Tales on YouTube. Check it out. The one he did on Cathedral. I was amazed because, guys, I've seen so many low-budget films, and I try not to knock low-budget because it is very rough trying to make a film with whatever money you got. But, guys, I've seen movies with money put in it, with quality that didn't even look compared to that. I mean, I'm not saying this because I'm trying to be nice. No, I'm literally saying this because I've seen it. I've seen videos, movies where some money was thrown into it with not very good quality. And I've seen this video, and he just explained what money they put into it, and that quality was better. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And I mean, I was blown away by Cathedral, how it had for it to be, 20-some minutes, right at 30 minutes? For it to be 22. Short like that, it had a good vibe to it. It had a real feel. It literally did to me. And maybe I'm just seeing it in a writer's point of view, because I look at things different than most people do. They look at these movies or read books in a certain way, whereas I look at it or read it into a reader's point of view. I don't know how to explain that. Maybe it's because I don't mean as in the point of view from the writer or the people that put the money into writing this book or producing this movie. No, I mean as in I put it into the depth of being inside it myself. So, for example, if I read a book and I put myself in it, like I'll find a character that I want to be in the book with. for example, or a movie, and if I can meet a good feel off of it and I feel like I'm in it, it's good. Where other people be like, it was blah, blah, blah. To me, it's great because I felt it while I was reading it or watching it. It's all she wrote for me.
That's why I'm having such fun with Wrong Move right now. It's because I'm kind of sassy like Mark is. There's one scene where they have the walkie-talkies and they're like, oh, do we get to have nicknames? I can't remember what he says. Dumbass 1 and Dumbass 2 or something like that. And I'm like,
I was
yeah.
so happy she kept that.
I was like, yeah, that sounds like something I'd say.
Yeah. Mike had that, and when I was reading Wrong Move and we got to the part where it made the mention of the walkies, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, Kristen, please tell me you added those lines. Please bring those lines over, because this is going to be so awesome. And I just had a feeling she was going to. She's got that attitude where I felt like, she's like, yep, I'm Dumbass 1, Dumbass 2, I'm putting it in. And it was so awesome. And I felt, and the thing that made me happy reading her book, it really, when it got to, what was it, chapter 9, it really felt like you just took Mike's book, her book, and it opened up reading both books at the same time. Like, it was I loved it. I'm like, yeah. I loved it.
I think he did a great job at expanding on his snarkiness, because there was a little bit of it in Mike's book, but he took it a lot further.
Yeah.
And that reads a lot like something I would write, because I write snarky characters sometimes too. And I think you read Without Saying Goodbye, so you caught a little glimpse of how snarky the characters can be.
He wouldn't be Mark if he wasn't snarky.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very true. Oh, yeah, I'm having a great time with it so far. Like I said, I'm about halfway through. I'll probably be done tomorrow or the next day, whenever I have enough free time.
And I like the depth she brought more, too. Like, when they got into the house, she picked up pieces like Mike left on purpose. Like I felt like, because I asked her, and she'll remember, I think. I literally text her. I think it was either I text you or I messaged you on here. I can't remember. But I asked you, I said, did you and Mike kind of had this planned? Because the way you went with some of the details that Mike left, I felt like you both did this intentionally. Like Mike says, oh, you want to do Mark? I'll leave some opens for you. And she said, yeah, keep Mark open for me. I'm serious, because if you read the detail, if you go back and you read Your Move, and then you go and read Wrong Move, if you can go back to the scenes where they enter the house before the old man arrives, she picks up pieces that he put down. It's like he left pieces and she went and scooped it up and picked it and put it in, kind of like a fumble, like he fumbled the football and she picked it up and, I'm like, I don't know, I liked it. It's like I felt like them two were on the same page with chemistry. And then she told me, says, no, it was just, I picked it, I'm like, that's good. That's artistic skills, and I love that.
That is a talent of itself, for sure. I don't know that I could do that. Maybe not.
I'm going to just surprise him with it, and I was hoping he would like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know he did. He commented about it, and he actually talked to me, sent a message talking about it, because he found out that when I put up there currently reading Wrong Move, he said a comment on there, and he also sent me a message saying, you're going to love Wrong Move. I love the way she picked it up. And and I said, all right, I'm really looking forward to it now, because I was in I was still reading the prologue at that time when he had sent all that. So, all right, now you got me excited. I said, all right. I'm hoping
kind of
Crossroads will give y'all that feel, because oh, go ahead. Sorry about that.
I was just going to say, I'm kind of the stepchild of this group, because Ruin was already mostly written, and it got picked up and changed so that it would fit.
I think you'll be happy with what I did for you. I put 2 things from your book in this. You read one, and I think you liked it. Remember the one where he was standing in the cave and he saw the guy running into the woods, and I actually went on detail and explained what I won't say on here, because I don't know if anybody's read, and if anybody has not read Ruin, I cannot specify what it is without ruining the book, so I'm going to shut up. But whatever it was behind it. I mentioned it. Then I took the end of your book, or the concept of your book is in the ending of my book. I won't say nothing. I was tempted to read that chapter to you today, and I said, no, I'm going to leave that as a surprise. I'm going to surprise you with this one. This one is a surprise for you. It is a definite nod to Ruin. Just like with Wrong Move, I'm giving it a special nod with the prologue and the epilogue. I think she's going to like that. Well, actually, towards the last chapter, too, your book Wrong Move comes in at the end of my book. So I'm hoping everybody, and I gave a special nod to Mike's, to Shay's. Pretty much the whole series gets a nod. I put everybody's touch. Oh yeah, even with your move, I even got touches of it scattered in my book. I put touches of everybody's book in this, and it fit like a puzzle perfectly. At least I think so. We'll find out from the readers. We'll see what y'all all think when y'all read.
If you guys are interested in any of the books that we're discussing, they're on the Zon. They're on Stephanie James' website. You can find them here, there, everywhere. If you're looking for a copy of Ruin, there's probably a dumpster near you. Check there first.
I don't know why he dogs his work. He's got skills, y'all. Everybody that's read any of Clarence's books knows he's got skill. I mean, when I was reading Ruin, it wasn't even the story that kept me sitting there. It was what was going to happen next. It's how he wrote, and he puts, like, where Kristen puts the emotional, realistic vibe feels in these things, he puts the realistic, everyday vibes in it. So basically, you got two authors who are unique in a different manner, who takes an emotion and builds onto it, whether it be with the story or the character. And don't take my word for it. Just go read their books, any of their books. You'll see what I mean.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I feel the same way, although I haven't gone all the way through any of your novels yet. I have listened to the beginning of every novel that you have ever written. I've heard the first chapter of everything.
Yeah. Especially Melvin's Labyrinth. Oh my God, you probably heard that one so many times. I won't even read chapter 1 no more of that book.
Yeah,
I can't even read chapter 1 of that because it's in. I probably could literally read it to you without even reading the book. Probably to a degree, I could. Oh man, I've never read a chapter more than that.
A Soulless Death is very high on my TBR. I want to read that one. That one's the one that stood out to me. Other than the Appalachian one, that one stood out to me the most.
That's the one
I want to redo Soulless Death so bad. Go ahead. Sorry, what were you saying, Kristen? I'm sorry.
That's the one I want to get to.
No. Honestly, A Soulless Death has a concept. That and The Novelist in the Lake House, I will go on record and say this. Those two books have a concept of the most bizarre of a read. I can't explain it. For example, The Novelist in the Lake House will throw you for a loop in a fun way. It will throw you in a loop as to what the heck. Is this a book? Is this real? Is this a dream? What is going on here? A Soulless Death is the same way, except it's not in the book concept, but it'll make you wonder if he's writing a book. It'll make you scratch your head like, I wonder if he's writing a book, and at the end of this story, we're going to find out that he's been writing a book this whole time, because I was almost tempted to do that. I was tempted to go in that direction. But I'm just not fascinated with my writing on those two. Those two have my weakest writing. Like, I wouldn't say weakest, but just with the concept of the structure of the writing. It's weakest. But, yeah.
I understand. So usually the response that I get from the readers is more like, what kind of drugs is this guy on when he wrote this? They pick up my collections of short stories and they're like, what?
I get the, are you okay?
I get some of that too. Yeah, I can see why. Your writing is very emotional.
I remember I wrote. I'm trying to remember what it would be called. Like a poem. It was like a poetic short story. In high school, I was a junior high school. I read a story that almost compelled with The Sixth Sense and something else. I can't remember what it was. And I wrote this little short story. It was almost, I mean, people were getting Edgar Allan Poe vibes. They were getting The Sixth Sense vibes. They were getting other different vibes, Stephen King vibes, and other unique vibes just off this little short story that I read to the class. Most times you didn't get nobody's attention in there. A lot of times you're reading and I look around at the class and you see everybody writing something or somebody was chit-chatting with one another or something. But I had everyone's attention that day. Like the whole class was like, I'm talking eyes laser focused. From the moment I started that letter, that short story, whatever you want to call it, like a poem, And I had everyone at the very end was just, I mean, everybody was just standing ovation. I'm like, what? No, everybody else that had the assignment that had to read in front of the class didn't get that. I was the only one that got it. And I didn't even put that much into this story. I didn't even put no heart into it. I just, sat down, wrote it as a project. I went on with it. And I said, I'll put some of my writing, into it and see what happens. But I didn't put like I do now with my books. I can't imagine what would have happened if I'd have put my heart into it. But that was crazy. It was a good moment for me. It felt good. I loved it. I actually felt like I was on cloud nine hearing that. I'm like, wow.
I wish I had an experience like that. I can't say that I do. Well, I mean, I get it from you guys, but you guys are biased.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You guys have dogs in the fight.
I always put y'all up as much as I can. I try to put everybody like you, Shay, Kristen, Clint, anybody in the comments that's an author. I do everything I can to put everybody out there. I won't, I'm not in it to like see it as a what am I looking for? Like a competition. I feel like y'all do good, then I can learn from what you did, so to help me do. So whatever it is, the way you promoting, the way you're pushing, I'll look at that. I'll watch it. I'll learn from it. I look at what's going on. I go, okay, I'm gonna try. I won't go in the same route, but I'll try a different approach though. But I will use your methods, and I don't. Like I said, I use it because if every indie author was struggling, it would give us no hope. So to see an indie author, certain ones start climbing, it gives all of us who are climbing with them hope. So by seeing someone making sales and getting a little bit further, that gives me hope. That makes me go, yes, we have a chance. We can do this. So
yeah, I've never seen it as competition either. So
yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense because of how difficult it is to do what we do, to try to knock each other down. It makes a hell of a lot more sense to try to help each other climb the mountain than it does trip each other and push them down.
Look at Luna.
No, Luna's in for it.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't want to do it for several reasons. One of the reasons I'm about to call out, people can misunderstand what I'm about to say with it. One, you can call it, coattail riding. Well, that's fine. I want to see it this way. This is one of my views. If I was to bash this person or try to hold them down, and then when they did get up, you think they're going to look back at you and want to help you and give you a lifting hand? No. By me thinking this concept, and don't get me wrong now, by me doing this doesn't mean that I'm saying I'm doing this all for me. No. What I'm saying is, if I was to help and somebody was to rise and get up there, there's a good chance they might look back at me and help me and give me a helping hand, or may tell the readers, hey, if you like my books, check out my buddy over here. Because that's something I would be doing. But that's not what I'm getting at. I'm not saying that I'm doing it in hopes of, hey, if I stick with everybody, they'll help me. No. But it is a nice feeling knowing that it could be there. But no, it's not because of that. I do it because, for one, I've seen talent. And y'all got it. And I've seen it. Two, you got the good attitudes, and I can see that y'all are working hard and you're wanting something with it, and it's a dream just like mine is. So I know what it's like. And by seeing y'all get a step further and going up that ladder, it gives me that hope to get out of the gutter myself and climb that ladder.
Now that Marianne is home, I think, because she asked earlier about what we're writing, I think we should all let her know what we're kind of doing, what's next.
How do I say what I'm doing without telling her about the super
Without
secret
telling
project? You go first.
Oh, goodness. So I'm finishing In Their Lives, which is the second part of In Her Head. Writing an Angels versus Demons book. It's more of a romance, dark romance, I guess. That is halfway finished. And I am working on the second book of Vampire Princess. Not to mention the secret project, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we are going to go around that.
I'll go around
quick.
it.
Yeah. Jeffrey, what are you on? Other than drugs.
Well, as soon as I get as soon as I get done with Crossroads for Stephanie James, I will go back to my psychological dark thriller romance. It's a I've read chapter one. Most people in here has heard it, but it's about a struggling young lady who's going through some things. She's her mother ran out on her and her father after winning a lottery, took her share and took off and bolted. When her father passed some years after, she had to move back in with her mother because she was still underage, and she dealt with the lifestyle of being abused by her mother's ex.
Mm-hmm.
So the story goes as she leaves, when she gets older, she graduates, she leaves, she gets married, or no, does it say? I can't remember if she got married. Or, no, she never did get married. I don't think she got married. I can't remember. I have to go back and read on that. But anyway, she met the man of her life, love of her dreams, blah, blah, blah. Turns out he's an alcoholic, abusive, doing the same stuff that she had left years ago. Now she's back on the road again. She's moved back in with her mother. Her mother has claimed to have changed. This is where the story picks up. This is where you'll learn if her mother's changed or not. She meets a new man, and there's a new love life, but there's some more darkness that's in her life that she has to get through before she can find true love. And it's a psychological, definite novel. So I think a lot of people, I'll be going to Kristen for when I need some hints and some pickups on the emotional stats of things. I'm definitely going to her with that.
Oh, buddy, that reminded me of something. So when you're in the right situation, I know you're in a situation right now, but there is something called The Emotion Thesaurus by Angela Ackerman and Becca Puglisi. I'm trying to read it. It's above my head. Buddy, that is one of the coolest reference books that I have. I can't pull it down without knocking all the other ones down right now, but if you're a writer, you should put it on your wish list. You should put it in your Amazon cart. You should ask for it for Christmas or your birthday, whatever. I wholly stand by it. It is a fantastic book. It helps you describe emotions in a way that you normally wouldn't describe them by explaining symptoms of these emotions that don't usually come up first, if that makes any sense. And it is brilliant. It is an exceptional. So you can go in there and say, "Hey, what would happen if somebody were depressed?" And then you could go, "Oh, well, it's so much more than just sad. It's like, rumination and sometimes even dizziness or anxiety or whatever." And it breaks down like all of these possibilities that people don't always know that are associated with this particular emotional disorder, I guess. And it is brilliant. Put that on your lists. I don't just say that. I'm not making any kickbacks on. I don't even know who those authors are, to be honest with you. But it is a great resource to have. What else was I about to say? Oh, yeah, what was I doing? Right. So I can't talk about the super secret project as of right now, but if the timeline keeps going the direction that we're going, there's a chance that I might be the first one to release, because everybody else is working on other projects, except for me. I'm the only one working on the super secret project right now. So there's a possibility that I'll be the first one, but who knows? But what I'm working on, other than the super secret project, is Nora. So there's like a lot of things that happen before you can actually turn the camera on. So right now we're like collecting props. There are certain makeup designs that I have to figure out because I'm the makeup artist on this one, and this one is going to have a lot more makeup effects than the last one that we did. So I'm going to have to work a lot harder. And I know what I want to do, I just don't know how to do it. So I'm probably going to pick up the makeup kit again soon. And you guys might see some more makeup looks come from me and some practice runs on some things because I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. So I'm working on that. There's also a couple of rewrites that I'm working through on the script. So we're trying to narrow down, and we're figuring out our film locations, and we're still casting one more role, and everybody keeps asking about me in the film, The short answer is yes, but not for long. I don't particularly enjoy acting. I do it by demand, is what it boils down to. I don't think I'm a great actor, but I step in when I have to. So, I'll probably have a cameo in the film, but I'm not going to be the lead, which is a little deceptive because the promo that we shot today, and that came out today, is me as the lead. But it's really just to sort of give the vibe of the film, if that makes any sense, and to show you kind of what we're working with. And I didn't want to go on a tangent and talk about myself, but here I am again. All right. Show off the covers if you have any handy. Tell everybody where you can be found, so on and so forth. Let's get out of here so Nana can take a nap.
It's Graham.
Oh, sorry. Graham.
So I have the Vampire Princess with me. It's like a dark romance about a girl who finds out she is a princess in a vampire community. And it just goes downhill from there.
That's kind of what happened to me. I found out I was royalty right along the same time that everybody else did.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Jeffrey?
My latest book, everyone, you can find it on the Zon, paperback, Kindle Unlimited. It is an emotional sci-fi psychological thriller. It's definitely one of my best written materials as far as writing goes, best formatted as well. But if you like an emotional book where things are falling into a different perspective for certain characters, I think you will really enjoy this. It's where a man he's got a tumor, and he discovers that with this tumor he has the ability to reach into a comatose victim's mind and help pull them out of their coma. But there's a price. Each time he does this, the tumor grows, and he's left with a choice: continue to help those and risk dying sooner, or ignore everything and try to live out the remaining life that he has left. So there's a lot of emotions in this story. There's a lot of heartfelt moments. There is a lot of grief, death, depression, all kinds of different things. So I got a trigger warning up here. Well, I think we got the thing on different, but yeah, there's a trigger warning to let you know those things. But it's not written out in a nasty way where like cuss words all over the place. I mean, there's a few little minor things. Marianne, if anybody wants to know about it, talk to Marianne. She'll tell you. She's the first one to have read it so far.
Yeah. The first chapter is fantastic. I'm very, very, very familiar with the first chapter.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I will promote my latest. This is a collection of short stories called Redacted Tales. There are 10 short stories in here. There's also a YouTube channel which has a bunch of other cool stuff on. There are some of the stories from here on there. And then other authors have submitted. Our dear friends Mike and Shay both have stories on the YouTube channel. And there will be another volume at some point of this that will be an anthology that will have other authors in it, which I hope you guys submit. You and you. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, this is on the Zon or my website. You can get this. I also have a promotion going on where if you buy any books from my website, you can get a copy of my book, The Blacktop Kings, for free. Okay. I think we should wrap it up now so Graham can get to bingo or whatever the hell she's up to.
Oh, bingo's over.
Oh, bingo's up. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Joining us. Thank you for the love, the support. We appreciate the likes and everything. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you, Kristen, for being up here. Thank you for the book that you wrote, Long Move, and your others. I will be getting to those here soon. I'll probably start with Kindle, and then I'll get a paperback eventually, but I will get, basically, I'm going to be getting 2 versions off of every author. I'll be getting y'all's books in Kindle and paperback. But I really appreciated your book, Wrong Move. I really had fun with it and loved it. Thank you.
All right, everybody. See you later.
See y'all.